What's up, guys? Time to show off a Fallout build. This was actually held back for somebody for almost 2 years. Not the build as a whole, but the dial. And that person, long story short, I'd sold them an automobile, or I sold them a motorcycle, then I sold them another motorcycle. And on the very last payment of the motorcycle, they had issues. And since they had done well on everything else, I wasn't too pressed and been dealing with the guy for a few years. And then he stopped responding to messages. I'd message him like a month or 2 months after, and 2 months after, and just wouldn't respond. So then he removed himself from Facebook as a whole. I think he still owed me like $560. Anyway, this was the dial that he wanted, and I held it off to the side for him. And so now it's time to sell it. So I did 2 of these Fallout dials. This is acid etched brass that's been distressed in the background and then pipped. We did some distressed painted hands, which they're stacked on top of each other right now, so it's a little harder to see. And then a black seconds hand. When we did the hands, we did them without lume because that looked really cool. And I thought, oh, that would kind of go with the theme of just kind of being distressed and rough. But then I noticed you couldn't see them very well. So I'm like, oh, let's go ahead and lume them. So I lumed those. This is in a 170 brushed case. This is, I've only done a few of the 170s. So it's a little bit of a larger case. It's still the overall same width as all of them, like 41.5 to 42. But it's just a little bit taller here. So did that. Grabbed a vintage brass bezel. It's like 70s or 80s style. Sanded it. Then went through and aged it. And it was ready. And I was like, you know what would be cool? Distressed lume. So then I went back through and did lume on everything. Like wiped it all down with acetone. And just left it the way that it looked. But then I went back and did a little bit extra on the pips themselves, so the distressing is kind of in these sections in between. So I'll show you how that looks. You can kind of look in there and see, like, that's not quite all there, that's not all quite right there. Some of them it's a little bit, from 9 to 10 and 10 to 11 looks pretty good, but from 11 to 12 you can see it's thin on one end. So I just did whatever it happens, it happens. So I was quite happy with how that came out. Biohazard crown. Jeez, I was like, what? This sun is in like a weird spot, like right over my shoulder, right in my face, and that's all I'm thinking about. It's hard to even see. It's literally like hitting the right side of my eye. Stainless steel movement holder in there. We have a milled and a lasered biohazard caseback. And then as you're seeing here, you've got a black distressed Italian leather. And you can see the distressing in there because through here you can see a little bit of the brown. And over time you might see some of the brown come through. It's painted black on the edges. Very, very pliable, very soft. And then this is a removable bund. I have one of these on one of my straps, and it is so freaking soft and nice. But it's brown, and it was painted in special leather paint to make it kind of have that ammo pouch leather kind of look to it. But that distressing goes really well, and then this is the opposite of it. So on camera it kind of looks like it's the same, but it's not. This is a little bit darker and has lighter spots, and this is lighter and has darker spots. So it's a little bit of a reverse. It just slides in here. On this side, you'd have to take off your brass distressed buckle. Nice little keeper here on that. But until you put this on, you will not realize how soft this is. So this just feeds through. Pull down. You just kind of make sure you're a little bit centered. It doesn't really move, so if you would have it pulled up here, it's going to stay up there until you kind of pull it down. These aren't necessarily tight, but there's a decent amount of friction with that going through and back out, so it will kind of just sit right there, but very, 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 very soft. So you've got actual brass dial, actual brass bezel. I don't know if this is actual brass or not. I got this from a buddy who does bands for me. And honestly, I'd have to like really get in and sand it to let you know. But I'm pretty sure this is a brass as well that's been distressed. You can't really make stainless steel look like this. So, pretty sure that's brass. I know this is brass. I know that's brass. These are my pieces. But that is the build. So, Fallout style build. I did one of these before and made one other dial and have held on to it for a while. So, if it's going to you, congrats. I mean, these days I'd have to laser etch this, which I could probably get something pretty close. But this is from one of my former dial guys. Did all this in brass, acid etched, and it came out very, very awesome. As always, matching beads. These are also lume beads. So there you get to see some lume to kind of go along with it. And this is in a dial matching custom box, though it's mirrored. Because I believe the first one I did to look like this, and the other one was a mirror, just look in the other direction. This is going to come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. It's everything here in the center, non-streaky, non-toxic, non-residue, along with the microfiber for that. You'll also have leather conditioner to keep this strap perfectly soft. Apply it on the front and back. Let it soak in. Remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way, and that's only if you feel it's not as soft. I've had mine for years, and it's just as awesome as day one. So you can use it on other stuff you have. And then lastly, you're going to have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your included microfiber. The scratches up and down, go left and right, filling that scratch, haze it, fill it in, buff it out. Should be gone. If it's not, let it solidify, come back 5-10 minutes later, do it again. It's kind of like drywall mud. If you do it again too soon, you're going to pull that out. It's going to bond to the new stuff. So just revisit it. But if it gets knocked around too much, it's just going to kind of go with the theme. So it's kind of up to you at that point as well. But that's the build, Fallout build. Like I said, if it's going to you, congrats. Appreciate your support. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.